We'll tell you why NDC presidential aspirant Kojo Bonsu thinks he's best placed to lead the party to victory in 2024.
If I don't serve Ghanaians and I die, Ghana will miss a lot because I believe I have a lot. If you check my track record, everything I touch is gold. So why don't I touch Ghana for Ghana to see?
Also in Joy News today, more than 100 people displaced by tidal waves at Mori in the central region are yet to receive support. Now there's business, sports, and world news and showbiz in this package. Do stay with us for details. Now, the minority in parliament is asking for a parliamentary probe into alleged involvement of top government officials in illegal mining, following a report by former Environment Minister, Professor Boateng. Professor Boateng, who was also chairman of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, has named many top government officials and affiliates in a report to President Kwadwo. One of the people he accuses is the president's cousin, Gabi Asari Otredako, who he alleges used his influence to intervene on behalf of mining companies CNG Alaska and Heritage Imperial Mining Company Limited. But Mr. Otredako has denied these allegations. Dr. Kingsley Forson is minority leader.
That is the position of the minority, but we will go beyond raising what is happening on the floor of Parliament. Our position is that the revelations coming out calls for a national probe. Obviously, Parliament will take the lead, and it is our position to call for a probe into this matter, because what we are hearing, the argument, the counter-argument, the accusations, the counter-accusations, and what are coming out clearly point to a fact that the President's attempt to stop illegal mining was not genuine. And the fact that obviously it looks as if it was a grand scheme to share the natural resources of our country. And so it should be important to us as Parliament to look into the matter. The NDC in the coming days will start a series of actions on this matter, and so you will hear from us in the coming days.
And you say that you trigger this exactly what time?
I can't discuss the timing that we are going to trigger that with you, but I can assure you that the minority will take action on this matter.
Dr. Forson, it's an open secret, isn't it? When the president himself...
But I don't have to discuss my strategy with you, do I?
Yeah, but Dr. Forson, it's an open secret, you agree?
So what I'm trying to tell you is that the minority would take steps to call for a national probe. But as to the details of what we are going to do in the coming days, you'll be hearing from us.
Okay, I understand. But the president himself admits that the fight against illegal mining has indeed been a tough one, signaling how there is influence peddling as an unusual norm within the industry itself.
Of course.
What's going to be...
What is happening is a fact. Everyone knows what has happened. It's clear. And obviously, we've seen the fraudulent attempt to fight Garamsey. We've seen attempt where government officials are taking Ghana's natural resources. I mean, you can see clearly from the report that clearly the NPP had a scheme to enter into our forest and destroy our forest in the name of mining golds in an illegal manner. That is a fact. What we're going to do is to call for a national probe. In the coming days, the NDC, led by the minority in Parliament, will take action, and those actions will point to where we are taking this matter.
I see.
To. But I can assure you we are interested in the matter.
And I was just building the point, trying to ask what the proposed terms of reference would be, because this is a report from an individual perspective, although he happens to be the former chair of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining.
It is not for the NDC to set the terms of reference. If you call for a motion, for instance, we will now draft the motion, get the motion admitted, debate the motion. Obviously, the speaker needs to admit the motion, and then if debated and accepted, the terms of reference will come out of it. So I can't sit on your radio and give you the terms of reference at this point.
So that's Minority Leader Kingsley Forson speaking there to my colleague Blessed Soga. Now, on the AM show earlier, Benjamin Akapo had an interaction with former Land and Natural Resources Minister Inusa Fuseni, Member of Parliament for South Dai Roxon Nelson Dafiamakbo, who's urged the Shraj to petition the matter, and Elizabeth Va, an environmentalist. They want government to do more to stop illegal mining.
Thinking that we should escalate this conversation, we should seek environmental justice on the international level. The level of degradation is clearly catastrophic. It's totally unacceptable. Our government can be brought, can be held responsible.
Mr. Fuseni, I was saying, when you say on the international level, which institutions are you looking at?
The institutions which are interested in protecting the environment. Now, today we are being told that we can cut down and defoliate the Amazon. The Amazon is the lungs of the world. Today we are destroying the lungs of Ghana. I mean, we will not be having good air to breathe. I mean, people, the activities of galamseyers will not only affect the people of Ghana, will have repercussions on other countries and the world environment. And so clearly, people must be held responsible. And I think that we should escalate it. I also support, and I've said that civil community action is very important. But the difficulty with civil community action is that, I mean, almost everybody has now been compromised. The chiefs are leading in the corrupt activities of galamseyers. Some citizens within communities are part of it. MPP exploited that by coming up with community mining, which I agree with Elizabeth, is another form of galamsey and distraction. And so, let's find a way. Let's reinvent ourselves. Let's find a way to stop this carnage. Government has betrayed or revealed a remarkable lack of commitment to fighting the illegal small-scale mining or mining activities in this country. And so, clearly, it is left to us as a people. And if we don't do anything as a people, the impunity with which the mining activities is going on in communities by illegal miners will perpetuate itself. And it will not matter whether it is NDC that is in power or MPP that is in power. People will act with impunity. Let's hold governments accountable.
Bob Boateng actually took a formal approach by writing the report of the work of the committee detailing the activities of every perspective involved in their work, and documenting it, supporting it where relevant, and submitting same to the Chief of Staff. If anybody was indolent in this matter, it was the office of the President who received the report and slept on it. It took Frimpong Boateng to leak it for us to know the details of this report. So if 7 ministers are now responding to the details, it is way too late. So I am saying that Shrag should look into this matter because the denials are too many.
Now, this afternoon, some physician assistants are picketing the Ministry of Health to demand immediate postings. According to the health professionals, they have been unemployed for the past 5 years without any assurance from the ministry, a reason they have resorted to picketing today to register their demand. My colleague Samuel Imbura is with the demonstrators and joins us live with more. Imbura, we have heard the concerns of the physician assistant. What more is happening at the ministry?
So, Kojo, just right behind me, the physician assistants who have spent no less than 5 years in their training. And since 2018, they tell me they have not been employed. The portal has been closed for them. And despite several assurances, it has not yielded any fruits. A reason they decided to come and picket the ministry. So I'll just talk to a few of them to find out how their situation has been since they left school and then they have been unemployed. Kwabena, thanks for joining us on Joy News. Share with us your predicament. How has the situation been for you?
Yes, our predicament is actually one that everybody would like to empathize with us. You understand? The reason being that we've completed school as far back as 2018. become fully qualified and eligible to be posted from 2020. We have sat home unemployed, rusted, yet every year we need to find ways and means to get our licenses activated with the Medical and Dental Council.
Even with the situation that you have not been employed, you still renew your license?
That is the situation.
How much does that cost you?
License renewal, of course, it depends, but it's around 348 Ghana cedis.
So how are you able to raise that amount, taking into consideration that you are unemployed?
Still fall back on their parents, relatives, friends. Those with other caretakers, you have to still go back to them, even though you've been trained professionally to work so that you can fend for yourself.
I can count about 40 of you here. Is that all of you, or you are more than this number?
We wanted to come in our numbers, but then the police restricted us that this is a secluded area. We need not to be an inconvenience to other officers around. So we had to go by way of regional representation.
All right, so you are coming from which region?
Bono East.
Bono East region. You came purposely because of this picketing?
I'm telling you, people came as far back from Yendi, some are from Oti, Nzema.
So let me talk to another aggrieved physician. He's in the person of Karim. Karim is a trained and certified physician assistant, but he has now resorted to Okada business simply because he can't fend for himself and his family. Tell us how you have been able to cope, manage and fend for your family in the wake of this challenge.
Yes, my brother, it's very difficult. We completed school in 2018. We have passed our licensure exams. We have good standing with the Medical and Dental Council. Yet we are not employed. All other cadres related to health profession have been posted, nurses, doctors, and the rest. But with PAs, we don't know why they are not posting us. We don't know why the government has decided not to listen to us. If you think you cannot post us, why then do you have to continue producing PAs? You continue to train PAs every year, but you can't post them. We sit at home and renew our licenses. People said the renewal of the license is 380 Ghana cedi. But we run CPDs. The CPD is about 100 Ghana cedi. And you attend not less than 3 or 4 CPDs. So when you add it together, it's almost 700 to 800 Ghana cedi before you be able to renew your license.
What are your demands now? What should they do for you before you leave here?
Yes, please. We want to be posted immediately. Otherwise, the next time we will come here in our numbers. All the 1,500 people will be gathered here.
All right. So let me also find out from you, madam. You are coming from where?
I'm coming from Suhum.
Sunyani?
Suhum.
Suhum?
Yes.
So how has the situation been for you?
Well, it's been very frustrating because every effort we have made to make sure that the ministry opens portal to post us has not yielded any results.
All right, let me hold it here because the police are trying to engage them and their concern is that they have not been given prior notice before coming. So we'll listen to them briefly. But earlier I was told some of their leaders were taken to the police station, about 3 of them. We can listen to them briefly and then talk to them again.
So please go and give them. Yes, go and give them moral support. Yes, you didn't do the right thing. You were asked. You were given a specific route and a specific order that do this and do this. Which kind of results? Which kind of results?
I am saying that
I have
it was
here
not
for over
agreed
1 hour.
upon that you should be here.
We were advising you. But if you have taken, you said your people said they will never go, they will sleep here.
No, we
that
haven't
is
said
what
that.
we were told.
I
was told. I personally was told. It's from the leadership. It's from the leadership. It's the leadership. You know, I went with the leadership.
If they don't heed to us, what we will do? Are we going to continue to be here? And we are saying that
I'm done.
You've succeeded in presenting your petition. Just
my dear brothers and sisters, your people have been arrested. They are at the regional headquarters. Go there and they give them.
Why have you arrested them? Why have you arrested them?
The rules.
What rules are we talking about here? Is it the case that so the police officer here, whose name tag I've seen is Madam Midday, has come to tell them that their leaders have been arrested. They should go to a police station and give them that moral support because they have not followed the agreed route that was given to them. So that is the situation here. We've not had the authorities from the Ministry of Health come in to talk to them yet. So they say until they are giving what they want or they meet their demands, they are not living here. So they are saying that you should go and then give moral support to some of your leaders. What are you going to do?
What you are saying is we are not leaving them. They should arrest all of us.
That's my colleague Samuel Imbura there from the Ministry of Health. But let's still stay with the health sector because rural Ghana is recording more malaria cases than urban centers. That's the latest report from the Ghana Statistical Service as the country joins counterpart to mark World Malaria Day. What does this do to Ghana's fight against malaria, particularly in the wake of the invasive mosquito on the loose? We'll get talking with a health expert shortly. In the meantime, though, Bono East Director of Health, Dr. Fred Amwako Boateng, says the behavior of individuals is what has contributed to the spread of malaria. Speaking on the AM show, Dr. Adumako advised individuals to revisit old practices that were used to control the spread of malaria. For example, sleeping under a treated mosquito net.
What we will have to do as a country is looking at the breeding sites to target the better that is already there, and also to prevent the target from the vector from getting to us. So we just have to strengthen what we were doing. They come back to behavior. Initially, when people were giving the mosquito nets, people were giving all reasons why they wouldn't want to sleep under the mosquito net. This is the time that you really have to revisit sleeping under the mosquito net, because if you really do that, then you'll be able to pick it very quick.
So let's get talking. Let's get onto the phone lines now and speak with the senior lecturer at the Department of Theoretical and Applied Biology at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Kingsley Badu, for more. Doc, I'm grateful for your time. Now, are you surprised that rural Ghana is recording more malaria cases than the urban centers, and why?
Well, so thank you very much for having me. I'm from KNUST, right, and not UCC, right? So we have known malaria typically to be a rural disease because the Anopheles gambiae, requires relatively clean water, shallow, sunlit water, and not the typical polluted waters in urban areas. So typically, rural Ghana will record more malaria cases than the urban centers. In urban centers, you have improved housing. Of course, I'm not talking about the slums, but improved housing. People are using screen doors and windows and things like that. They have access to healthcare. And so malaria cases in the urban centers ordinarily will be lower than the rural Ghana. So this is not a surprise to me at all.
Okay, but you also do say that, like, we have some polluted water in the urban center, which of course serves as a breeding ground for mosquitoes. So why aren't we having the reverse?
No, so it is current knowledge. We are now realizing that the Anopheles mosquito is also adapting to these new polluted water, and so we know that gradually urban malaria will also pick up. Of course, if the new vector Anopheles differentiae is established, if it's not controlled early and it's established, then of course we will expect to have a lot more urban malaria in going forward. Yeah.
We have tried to get people to sleep under mosquitoes just so we can reduce the spread of malaria. We haven't been hugely successful. What do we need to do next to ensure that we prevent the spread of malaria?
Yeah, I think individuals will have to take some responsibilities on themselves. For example, we are talking about a new breeding habitat that we are finding very close to the house. If you have a bucket of water close to your house for 3, 4, 5 days, it's not covered, it's outside, mosquitoes will lay eggs in it and they'll breed. We are talking about this invasive mosquito being able to breed in roof gutters, overhead storage water, and cans, lorry ties that are normally left in the community without anybody taking care of. They are breeding closer to the house. And so we will have to take responsibility. We also know that they bite earlier compared to the mosquitoes we already know. And so we have to take responsibility in protecting ourselves. I mean, there are places you go, children are even sleeping outside 8, 9 p.m. without wearing anything, but they are at the mercy of mosquitoes. And so zero malaria, as we talk about, must start from individuals, must start from homes. Homes should begin to take responsibilities in reducing the breeding sites that are around us. Yeah, I think this should be the way forward.
All right, grateful to you, Doc, for joining us here. Now, a resident of Ogbojo are upset with service from the Electricity Company of Ghana over rampant power outages in the community. Now, the erratic power supply has caused many to throw their plans out of gear while small-scale businesses suffer. The residents tell Joy News' Mamiesi Nyamiche Forson their complaint to the ECG have all fallen on deaf ears.
Ogbojo, part of the Adenta community, and I'm with some residents here who have a very peculiar problem. Their issue is that they are experiencing erratic power supply for years now, and it is so bad that they can go without light for more than 36 hours. With me on my right hand side is Julius. Julius, you have a very big problem with the ECG. What really is your problem?
My problem is whenever the weather changes, the lights goes off. Even when there's a little storm, the lights goes off. And we can just go off for like 24 hours. Like Sunday, we had it the whole day, the whole night. Monday, we had light off. Later when it came in the evening, and sometimes when you call the call center don't even know that we have light off here. So they will tell you, they will talk to their engineers and find out what's been the problem with our area. You call back again, they wouldn't give you any answer.
Let's say the gadgets we use, sometimes you are not in the house. Before you come back, you see the whole thing. It's like you do everything, you can't even use anything. Sometimes some of us to use medicals, the one they used to put in the fridge for some time before you can take. You come, it is also spoiled, you have to go and buy again. And you can know the situation now too, there is no money like that. Your things in the fridge, you have to buy a whole set. It's disturbing. It's more than 6 years. It comes off, go anytime. You call and call, nobody will come, you will be there to come back again.
But what really is the issue? Is it an issue of your meters? What type of meter do you use anyway?
I use prepaid.
Oh, you use the prepaid. Yeah. So you have the card, right? Yeah. Is it a problem with the card or what?
No. It's from the main line. Because when it comes like that, it's not your everything will be working exactly. Sometimes they even come, you tell them, they tell us, oh, when we go to the office, we will report. Finish.
What you teach?
Yes, please.
So you obviously need the lights, especially in the evenings, to plan your curriculum, teaching, exactly. and stuff like that. How has it altered your plans?
ECG, I've been in this neighborhood since '93, and I can say this is a problem we've been facing since then. You call their lines and then they give them scripts to read. You can call 2-3 people at the same time, then they read the same thing. That either is just transformer or it is something else.
And you use the postpaid?
When my dad was alive, he requested for prepaid meters so that the house can have separate meters because the bills that come is too much.
How much are you?
A house of 9 or 10, but the bill comes 3,000, 4,000 cedis. And you ask, is it a factory? Or what I thought we use there? Just one fridge, but these are the bills that come. So, madam, if ECG can do something about it, it will help the whole neighborhood and to help us as teachers and other professions that use the lights in order to do our work effectively.
Now, the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, has disconnected power supply to the Tyne District Hospital for failure to settle debt. The Techiman area manager of NEDCO, John Tahiri, says the facility has for the past 2 years accumulated a debt of over 5 million Ghana cedis, and Asabit has more in the following report.
Well, the Northern Electricity Department is being owed to a tune of over 1.2 billion Ghana cedis. The Techiman area as I speak, have its customers owing more than 100 million Ghana cedis. Today we are here at the Tyne District Hospital, where we understand the facility is owing over 5 million Ghana cedis. Officers of the Northern Electricity Department are here to engage them, as well as disconnect the facility and then ensure that they will only connect them after making full payment of this amount. What we are also learning is that the last time the facility paid a dime of its electricity bill is somewhere in 2021. So within a period of over 2 years, they've accumulated this amount. We've been speaking with the general manager of NETCO, of VRA, in Techiman, Mr. John Tyree.
This exercise has been necessitated by the level of indebtedness customers, the people who use our power owe us. To start from the base for you to appreciate exactly what the issues are. NETCO is owed over 1.2 billion cedis. In Techima area, our consumers owe us 109 million. If you come to this particular facility, the debt owed us in less than 2 years is 4.2.
Now, the Chief Executive of the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly has called on stakeholders within the metropolis to support his office to maintain the peace of the town. Sule Salifu, in an interview with Joy News, expressed appreciation to the Yana and the Municipal and Regional Security Councils for helping to resolve the major chieftaincy dispute in Tamale. He is, however, appealing to the residents to help consolidate the gains for rapid development.
The issue of two palaces within the metro controlling and influencing the dispute in Yonda Pyamile. And that the only person who could help us to bring an end to it was the Yana. Heavy gun battle at Yonda Pyamile, houses were burnt, people were shot at. So I told them that no way, I was going to write to the Yana. Lo and behold, the letter came and the distinction was made as to who is the official paramount chief within the Tamale metropolitan area, and gave us guidelines as to how to deal with the chiefs, including the fetish priests as well. And since then, with the guidance from the Yana, I'm sure for the past 7-8 months, we've not had any meeting on Yonda Pyamile. But fortunately for us now, we can confidently say that we are most grateful to the Almighty Allah for giving us direction in terms of managing this conflict. Again, we had these pockets of armed robberies at night, especially on mobile vendors. So as a Security Council, we met and took certain decisions. One, we sent out messages and met the Mobile Vendors Association in the region to talk to their members to close early, because the attacks usually would take place around 8, 9, 10 thereabouts.
Chairman of the Northern Regional Security Council, Alhaji Shani Shaibu, has assured more resources will be deployed to other parts of the region to keep the incident of armed robbery under control.
When we had a surge in these armed robbery attacks, there were tools that were lacking. The government has been able to do the best that it can. So we now have, for instance, when I made a request to the IGP, 30 motorbikes were sent to the region, together with dispatch riders who could do the patrolling very well. And I think when the motorbikes arrived, we have not recorded one single case of armed robbery attacks again in town. There were other districts that didn't have vehicles. For instance, when I made an appeal to the Vice President, to the IGP, a vehicle was released, brand new pickup was given to Myong District, Wulensi District, and Savulgu District, which were key areas that these armed robbery attacks were happening, because they were on main key roads. Savulgu on the Bolga Road, Myong on the Yendi Road, and Wulesi on the Eastern Corridor route that will take you into the Oti region.
Let's do some politics now, because a presidential aspirant of the opposition National Democratic Congress, Kojo Bonsu, says the delegates of the party will commit an unforgivable sin if he is not elected to lead a party in the 2024 presidential election. The former mayor of Kumasi will face off with former President John Mahama and former Finance Minister Dr. Kwadwo in the May 13 Congress of the party. Ahead of the polls, your election headquarters looks at the chances of Kojo Bonsu. Eltim Brobe has more in this report.
Mr. Kojo Bonsu definitely is endearing himself so well to the party faithfuls, and he's simply looking forward to coming out successfully. But I think that he's up against an equally formidable candidate in President Mahama, given the fact that President Mahama has virtually been the face of the party from the
Kojo Bonsu wings is spread across the political, business, and sporting arena. The founder and former publisher of the Ago magazine first nursed the ambition for the highest office of the land in 2018, when he declared his intention to contest as the party's president flag bearership role, but he would drop out ahead of the primaries. This time there is no backing down, and here is his reason.
God has given me good vision. I'm a visionary person. If you look at what I did at the National Sports Authority, what I did at Goa, what I did with Adidas, and what I've done with KMA as well. If I don't serve Ghanaians and I die, Ghana will miss a lot, because I believe I have a lot. If you check my track record, everything I touch is gold. So why don't I touch Ghana for Ghana to see gold?
The bookmakers tipped former President John Mahama to win the race. But Kojo Bonsu says the image of the former president is dented, corrupted, unattractive, and soiled. For him, the former president is a commodity that will be difficult to sell to floating voters.
They've said a lot of things. They've put corruption tag on him. They have a whole lot of things, like almost saying on PBB. They've said a whole lot of things against him.
Dr. Boateng is a political scientist at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He's been given some perspectives on the development.
Kojo Bonsu definitely is endearing himself so well to the party faithfuls, and he's simply looking forward to coming out successfully. But I think that he's up against an equally formidable candidate in President Mahama, given the fact that President Mahama has virtually been the face of the party from the time he left office to date, and he's simply represented the party in engaging Kenyan politics and pushing the party's interest, forward all the time. That aside, if you listen to the arguments that Mr. Kojo Bonsu is making, that President Mahama appears tainted and stuff like that, I think that is the element that will also play, to the advantage of President Mahama. And it is simply this, that we know him, we know of his weaknesses, and we know what he's able to do, if you like, his strengths and weaknesses. And then there's this other added advantage that President Mahama has, and he's here to communicate that to us. If indeed he comes out openly to acknowledge some of the challenges he faced, why he took the decisions that he took, and is able to communicate to Kenyans that, look, he's a reborn person, he's gained the experience, he's not going to commit old mistakes. Then definitely, given the peculiar situation Ghana finds itself in currently, then Ghana will want to go in for an experienced person.
So are you suggesting that Mr. Kojo Bonsu is shooting himself in the foot by advancing that argument because it works rather for his opponent?
No, definitely. That argument would not necessarily inure to his benefit. Because if President Mahama sincerely, come to terms with some of the challenges he faced, nobody should talk about doing so. Nobody should talk about doing so. As
Even as you mentioned, Dumso, with the Mary issue coming in, then you realize that President Mahama did so well. After all, he inherited Dumso. Dumso one would want to call a legacy problem.
Now to other stories now, and more than 100 people displaced by tidal waves at Mori in the central region are yet to receive support. These families are struggling to find shelter and food after their homes were affected when the tragedy struck last week. How are local authorities handling the situation? NADMO Director for Abra Asebu Kwamankese, Semila Kbore, spoke to my colleague Benes Abu Baidu on News Desk.
The DCE called my attention when he had the information. Quickly I rushed the place. I took a survey of the area. Initially, it was only one body that actually fell down, that collapsed. So I took the report to him. I even wrote to my regional director, who was on me to get the report back to Accra and find out what we can do. Yesterday, we were there with the relief items. Actually, the DCE agreed to certain philanthropists. And Professor Duncan, through his organization, provided us with, I think, 40 pieces of student mattresses, and then mosquito coil. The assembly was able to procure some food items, detergents and buckets.
So have all these been distributed?
We did that yesterday.
Okay. Now, the long-term solution, you have just mentioned to us what the history is, what your concerns have been over the years. You said 2 years ago you started work in this area. Looking at the seashore and the buildings, I just want to find out from you what the long-term goal is. Are you hoping to evacuate the people? What are the recommendations you are making?
You know, these people, they have a traditional history, and I don't know whether it's a heritage or tradition. I don't know how to mention it. You know, they have a biblical history that links them to their family houses. You know, that particular house, that further is a family house. That is where all family activities are being conducted in that particular place.
Yes, so watching Joy News today. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll bring you business. Stay with us.
Hello, good afternoon. Warm welcome to the business segment on Joy News today with me, Pius Kojo Baka. Now, the chairman of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, Professor Adom Frimpong, is asking Parliament to take action on some critical findings in its annual petroleum revenue report to save the country from losses. According to him, the committee will continue re-echoing some of the findings which are yet to be taken until an action is taken. Now, speaking on the 2022 annual report, Professor Frimpong said if some attention is given to most of the findings, there will be more accountability on oil revenue management.
We report to Parliament. We don't take decision on our own. We do the recommendation and give it to Parliament. And anytime Parliament look at our report and take a decision, we leave that part. And then the following year, when Parliament fails to take our recommendation and the problem is still persists, we repeat it and repeat it. So you could see that some of these issues have been already mentioned in our previous report, which means Parliament has not taken note of it. So you continue to repeat it until they take action on it. There are so many things Parliament has taken note, and they are taking decision and reverse some of the issues in the previous report. But this, once we have raised, nothing has been done. So we are sure when it gets to Parliament, they will look at it, invite us to explain if the need arises, and they will take the necessary action to correct it. And then the little revenue you have generated, you utilize it for the efficient way for the betterment of our mother Ghana.
Now, illegal miners have invaded the concession of Asanko mines, threatening its sustainability. Now, though the amount of gold being lost to illegal miners is yet to be quantified, managers say such operations endanger the lives of staff and earth-moving equipment. Corporate social responsibility activities to the community also stand to be affected greatly. Anaya Ojima reports.
Illegal mining is rife within Asanko Mine's 113-kilometer concession. In 2021, the Ashanti Regional Security Council visited one of the affected areas, sighted few meters from the mine's senior staff camp. Despite efforts to halt the illegality, desired results are yet to be attained. Managing Director of Asanko Mines, Dr. Charles Amoa, explains how the environmental destruction is hampering its sustainable mining drive.
It's very huge because at the end of the day, we all know these illegal miners do not very safe mining practices, which is contrary to what we believe in. And at the end of the day, they leave the area unsafe, which will eventually result in fatality. So the challenges are one, it poses a threat to our employees, it poses a threat to our equipment, and it's degrading the environment, and then put Asanko in a very state as if it's Asanko that have done that degradation.
The mine contributes $2 of every ounce of gold mined for the community development. In the delivery of its corporate social responsibility, the company has handed over a fully furnished hospital to Bontefufo and its environs at the cost of $1.7 million. The hospital has 4 wards, a theater, emergency room, and 2 consulting rooms. The single-story facility comes with all the needed facilities for the hospital's operation. Meanwhile, a service provider in the mining industry, Boateng Ghana Limited, has donated an ambulance to support the hospital.
And that's your business for now. I am Pius. Kojo Bonsu will be at 1 p.m. with the Marketplace. Sports is next.
Thank you very much for staying here with us on Midday News. And let's now go into the details of sports. Now, the Black Princesses are in camp preparing for the upcoming WAFU Zone B Under-20 Women's Cup of Nations to be hosted by Ghana here in Kumasi. Now, the team will hope to overcome the winners of the competition for the first edition, which kick-starts on Saturday, May 20. Ghana is paired in Group A alongside Benin and the Ivory Coast. Here is head coach Yusuf Basigi.
Of work to be done, because the crop of players that went to the Costa Rica World Cup will also not have all of them here. So transitionally, we have to bring on board the maidens players, and because they didn't play the World Cup, you know, we could not just pick most of them so far as playing a high-level competition is concerned. However, we depended on the database given us by the technical head of the Black Maidens. And then also I went round to scout for players during the league matches and bringing the potentials together. So looking at the task ahead, we have very limited time. And already we have some household names. Fortunately, we have some household names in the team, that is under 20, and also very good potentials in the under 17. Immediately we are going to blend them together to raise a formidable team, especially now that we are hosting.
Well, that's it for sports for now. We'll be back at 2 p.m. with Sports Today, where we bring you details of some more stories and some analysis from the world of sport. You stay right here on the Midday News.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News Today. Now, the journey to stardom for the 12 contestants of Cues and Lyrics has begun. The budding musicians never disappointed as they thrill viewers with their dexterity on the microphone. Here is all you've missed.
Hold up, let me break in.
Sunday saw performance of the contestants for the first time on Cues and Lyrics. Contestants were put in groups of 4. The lover boys and girls lighted up the souls of the audience with their soothing voices.
Oh, beautiful like diamonds.
Then came the Energy Squad with swag and style.
Stay undercover, keep it real, we know they fake them. Swear on my mama, see them, they talk them, my mind, I know they hear, bury them, I wanna take her. Gidiba, we the from Gidiba. Gidiba, we the from Gidiba. Gidiba, we the from Gidiba.
Not forgetting the soul winners who took viewers to another realm. Different voices, amazing crafts, and unbeatable creativity. At the end of the episode, the lover boys and girls won the heart of the judges. Make a date for more exciting episodes of Cues and Lyrics every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. only on Joy Prime.
Would you stay with me? 'Cause you're all I need.
Okay, are we done? We're done. And that's how we wrap up today's bulletin. There's more news for you on myjoyonline.com. Marketplaces up next with Darrell Call. Good afternoon. Stay.